So my name is Ilona and today is Monday, June 12, 2023, and I already talked about the United States in my video on Friday. So much going on with Mr. T. He's now indicted at a federal level, which is unique, a former president, but that opened up doors again to other presidents and former presidents. So we'll see how that goes. He has to be in Florida on Tuesday about everything that's connected to that case. Of course, this is a distraction, what is going on with Mr. B, and it's obviously, so it's all in your face now. And there are a lot of things coming out about him and his family, and more things are coming out. So that's interesting. To see in Great Britain, there was this humongous switch in politics. Boris Johnson, former Prime Minister, has left as a member of Parliament and accuses a committee of attempting to drive me out, he said in a letter on Friday. After he left, Nigel Adams also left, and before Johnson even left, Nadine Dorries, who was media minister under Prime Minister Johnson, left before him. So this is very interesting. And of course we have Nicola Sturgeon, who was I think the first Prime Minister of Scotland, if I'm not mistaken. And she's a former Prime Minister of Scotland, and she was actually arrested concerning finances, the party finances. So they actually picked her up, so to speak. So there is so much going on there. And I also wanted to mention that Tucker Carlson talked about Instagram and everything that has to do with kids on his second episode on Twitter, which is of course very important that people are talking about that, because you barely see anything in the media about what's going on Instagram and how available certain things are concerning children. So the thing I wanted to take a look at, I said people were sending me messages about the WHO that wants to use this certificate also for climate and of course the digital euro. I've looked at these things before, but I wanted to just take a look at it now, what the energy is, that they are now planning another period where we'll be locked, in our houses, and to make sure that another round of stings is being delivered, and of course the digital currency, they really want to push that one through. So I really wanted to take a look at the energy. To be very honest, I do believe that there will be another period that we will have to remain at home, but I think it has to do more with the white hats than with the dark energies, but it may seem or look like it's going to be, it will look like it is part of the dark energy agenda, so to speak. So the cards I've got, this is very interesting. The first card I've got was the Nine of Cups. It's an interesting card. We've got the Knight of Pentacles as the central card for the energy surrounding this. We've got the Moon in the past. We have the Temperance card underneath the central card. And for the future, we have the Five of Wands and the King of Wands. And I was looking at the back of the deck. Sometimes I just notice that card very much, like it pops up. So that was the Eight of Cups. So we're moving away from this. Like I said, I do believe that there's going to be another period where we won't be able to leave home, but it has a different reason than the dark energy agenda. We're moving away from that. And especially with this card, because this is really a wish card. I thought it was very interesting that it's like a wish coming true. And like, yeah, that's probably for the dark energies. But no, I don't think that's the case. I don't think there's going to be any wishes coming true for them, because if that was the case, it would have come true by now. And especially with the white hat cards, because for me the King of Wands is always the white hat cards, the white hat influences. So this is going to be used for something else, but there's going to be, it seems like a struggle. So we're going to see more and more push for this climate thing. They want to use it for a digital currency. It's very likely that there are going to be countries that will introduce this. They will just see how they're going to react. I saw a clip of an Aldi, I think in Great Britain, that they have like without cash. Well, we already had that one in the Netherlands, in Utrecht. They actually had a cashless Aldi and it was not successful. It closed down because nobody showed up there. And that's the way to deal with things. I think we need to realize that we are the ones giving permission. So we're just not going to cooperate with them anymore. We're not going to put our energy in there. We don't do that. We're not going to do anything. This is also why I'm not really afraid of these things. I'm like, even if they're going to push this all through, I won't be cooperating. I refuse to. I will not comply. I will not work along. I will not give my energy away. So I refuse to comply. So that's my position. But this is really about healing. The Knight of Pentacles is about a plan that's being, you can see it for your eyes. You see the plan roll out. And I think that the white hats will be taking over most of the dark hat energies. But there's going to be a struggle in a way. We're going to see this more and more in our faces. The media will bring it like it's something good for the climate and that digital currency and how handy that will be. They will draw these puff pieces about how wonderful it's going to be. So to me, it feels we're moving away from this. I don't think they'll be able to even install all these ideas or this agenda that they have. Like I've mentioned many times before, they would have done it by now. They could have done it 3 years ago, this digital currency. So, to be very honest, I think that this is just it is already ending for them, but we really are in the end phase and we're moving away from things. So that's the most important part. And to realize in some countries, some parts will probably be introduced. Don't fear that, don't get scared that a lot of people still have from past lifetimes or maybe even in this lifetime, especially this feeling of being powerless is very deep sense, a deep pain that we need to heal. So a lot of people are being triggered. I have to say I feel sometimes triggered as well, especially in the beginning when this all started in 2020. And in the supermarket, I saw like racks empty. That was some kind of trigger in me. That was very shocking for me at that moment in time. Of course, I kind of worked through that. But there are a lot of fears, like these fears that you have to fear your safety, that you're going to be forced to do something you don't want to do. So this is a time to deal with those fears as well. We don't have to worry about that anymore. In a way that we will decide what we're going to do with our energies. We will not comply. And we need to understand our strength in that. And that we don't have to be afraid of that anymore. And if fears come up, we can just use it to work through it. So that's how I view things as well. Something comes up, if I read something and I do feel some fear, to be very honest, I haven't felt that for a long time with even whatever the media is putting out. I'm like, yeah, sure, you're still running your agenda. I'm not going to comply. But if fears come up, work with that, work through that, because there's old pain attached to that. So this is what I've got for the entire energy with the certificate and the digital currency. They might get it through in some countries. They might be able to push some things through, but like I've mentioned, it's up to us to do something with it. I'm not even sure if it's going to land in the Netherlands. I think they're just going to try out in a few countries to see how it goes. But even if I'm not mistaken, in Nigeria, it was rejected as well, all these digital currencies. So it's not going anywhere. And it's up to us to do something with it. Just like with this supermarket we had here in the Netherlands, cashless, no one showed up. And then it will close down, obviously. So it's up to us to just not comply. The other thing I looked at was the energy for the coming week. And it was interesting. There were 2 cards from the, of course I shuffled in between, but apparently for this week it's an interesting energy as well. The first is the 3 cards are the energies for this week. We have Judgment, we have the 8 of Cups, and we have the 5 of Cups. So this is going to be a week where a lot of things, this is like waking up card for me. So a lot of things are going to come out and could be shocking for a lot of people. And of course, we see that the aliens, they're really pushing that now. They're really starting to push that on social media. So we'll have to wait and see. That can be very frightening for people. But I also feel that more things concerning the stings were coming out. We, of course, have all these political issues happening right now around the world. But we're moving away. This is, again, the card moving away from this old, corrupt system. We don't want it anymore. So this week is going to be very interesting, of course, for the people that are already fully aware of these things that are happening, have been aware maybe even for decades. This, of course, is just coming together. But for a large group of people who are completely unaware, it can be very, very shocking. So there can be a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of disappointments. But we need to get through that to, enter this new world and create this new world. We are the ones creating it. So it's about balancing things. Because that's the interesting thing. These are the cards for the advice. We have the 7 of Wands, we have the Temperance card, we have the 2 of Pentacles with I got these two together, the 2 of Pentacles with the Queen of Pentacles. And these 2 cards are the cards of balance. So that's very interesting, because this is really what we're working towards, the balance in ourselves. We need to balance things in ourselves, because then we'll see a balanced reality around us. It's a mirror of who we are, and we need to work through that part. That's what I'm working towards. I'm not even focusing that much on the outside world anymore. Of course, I am keeping up with certain things, but a lot of things just are not that interesting to me anymore. It just doesn't faze me anymore. I'm focused on inside of myself, and we are way stronger than we think. We are in a way better position than we think. We don't have to be afraid of being taken over or that they are controlling everything. We are in a way better position. So even if they try to attack us, which they're still trying to do, we will stand strong. We don't have to worry about that. And I think we need to work on that, to trust and really feel that everything will be all right, because then, of course, we will see that in the outside world. So it's about balance. That's the advice for the coming week. And really looking after yourself, really taking care of yourself. That is so important. And some air. These 2 cards came out together. Breathe and see the light of things. Make joke around a bit more. We take everything so serious. We can really start more enjoying things and see the humor in the situation. We don't have to be afraid anymore. We're going to be taken over, because we are the ones to decide if we are going to be taken over or not. That will be up to us if we're going to comply or not. And I won't comply with anything like that. So really, if you have that faith in yourself that whatever is going to happen, you will stand strong. You don't have to be afraid of anything. Our connection with God, we are protected. We are safe. And this week will be a week to really feel that and really stand up for yourself and what you believe in and who you are, and trust that everything will be all right. And take good care of yourself and really joke around. It doesn't have to be all this serious. So I'd like to leave it at this, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye.